Hello friends, welcome back to the Frizzandfrillzz channel. My name is Chloe. I'm super excited to have you here. If you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you never miss any of my curl and beauty tips. You're gonna wanna be here for those, okay? But let's get into today's video. Today is actually sponsored by our lovely family over at Curlsmith, okay? You guys already know, if you've been around here even for a minute, you know how much I love Curlsmith. Their products are phenomenal. They have such a wide range of products. I'm gonna pop those up here, seriously. They have grown so much since I started using their products about 5 or 6 years ago. I think they started out just with their orange line, okay? I'll pop the orange line up here as well. They started out with that, and that's when I fell in love with Curlsmith, and I was like, I'm gonna spend my hard-earned coin on these products because they are amazing. And then they've just continued to grow the line and show us what curly products really have the ability to do. Truly made for the curls and made for the wavies and the coilies, all curl textures. They're really all inclusive on that. So super excited to be working with them. And today we're gonna be talking about curl cocktails, okay? Not like the sippy kind, but we're gonna be talking about how to cocktail your curl products. That means putting them together, figuring out which ones work together, which ones don't. And Curlsmith makes it pretty easy for you to be able to figure this out. And you can really kind of play with them and figure out what your hair is wanting at that given time. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and get my hair nice and wet. We're gonna go over to previous Chloe right when we're about to style. So let's do it. Okay, so we are back. Hair is ready to be styled. Every wash day and every time you style is not always going to be the same, okay? You kind of have to learn to start listening to your hair. Sometimes it might need more hydration, sometimes it might need more protein, sometimes it needs a mix thereof, and you kind of have to start learning that about your hair. Today, I know that my hair needs some protein, and the reason being is because I just got my hair bleached, okay? I did some highlights, I got things touched up, so I know she's craving some protein. So we're gonna definitely be using the newest multitasking conditioner from Curlsmith. Love this stuff. If you haven't tried it yet, I would highly recommend you trying it. This is it right here, so you can see it a little bit closer. It's so good. I'm excited to be using this today. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and just bring this in on the ends and then bring it up to where it's really nice and hydrated. And then we'll move on to the next styler. Here is our glob. Yes, I know, I use a lot. Really with Curlsmith's products, less really is more, even though I don't demonstrate that well. But I have a lot of hair, I have very thick hair, and I have dehydrated hair. So, you know, it's just a mix thereof. And I'm gonna take you through kind of like a light version of my routine. If you wanna see a really in-depth version of my routine, I will link it up here and in the description below so you can see really step-by-step of how I style my hair. What's nice about this one too is it's not only a leave-in, but you can use it as a normal conditioner or you can use it as a deep conditioner. So it adds that protein, it adds that moisture. It's really such a fantastic all-in-one product. The only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't add hold. Let's talk a little bit about the differences between some of these leave-in stylers, because I think there's a lot of times a misconception on like what a leave-in conditioner does and what a curl cream does. Curlsmith has a lot of different leave-in conditioners. This is a leave-in conditioner. The Weightless Air Dry Cream, that's a leave-in. This is the mini oiling cream. Any of those do not add any hold. They are a leave-in conditioner. They are only there to moisturize and stay in your hair for consistent moisture, not to be washed out, right? But whereas a curl cream is kind of like an all-in-one for some people. Some people can do a curl cream and be like good to go. Reason being is because it's adding moisture, but it's also adding hold, okay? It's a 2-in-1 in a sense. So sometimes a curl cream can do a really good job, especially if you don't need a lot of hold or if you don't need a lot of moisture. But I am like the queen of curl cocktailing, and I like to use multiple products in my hair. I think because it's so thick and because it's thirsty, it needs a lot. And so I like to use multiple things and kind of come up with the concoction that I think is gonna work for that day. I wanted to make sure that you guys understood what the real difference between a curl cream and a leave-in is and the reason you use those, because they really are very different types of products. And today, I'm actually only gonna be using for a cream product, I'm only gonna be using this, and then I'm actually gonna be using 2 gels, because I am a girl who loves a gel, okay? Gels are probably like my true love, but I also need that extreme moisture, but I cannot go without a gel. If you can go without a gel, girl, more power to you, but I cannot. I need the hold, otherwise I'm a frizz ball. But I'm not gonna use a curl cream today. This thing packs so much moisture, I just really don't think I'm gonna need it today. One of the best curl creams I personally think from the Curlsmith line is their Featherlight Protein Cream, but because I'm getting that protein from this, I don't really feel like I need to use this. Anything that has the purple label means that it has protein for Curlsmith. If it doesn't have a purple label, if it's one of like the orange or the blue teal color labels, it does not contain protein. For me, I feel like I don't really need this if I'm gonna use the gels, but if you're looking for a good curl cream that's lightweight, you'll really like this. I also wanna talk to you about curl cocktailing in general. I get this question actually quite a bit. How do I know which ones go together? How do I know if it's going to mix well? And like, how do I know before I get it into my hair that I'm not gonna get those little white nasty pieces stuck in my hair because it didn't like mix well? What you wanna do first, before you ever try any products together, you can try them on the back of your hand and just take, for example, like say I wanted to take the air dry cream, I'm gonna grab that, put that on the back of my hand, okay? So I got a little bit of that. Then say I want to try the Souffle, okay? This is one of my all-time favorite gels. So say I'm gonna try the Souffle. This is the styling Souffle. It's been one of their, like, I think this is one of their original OG products that Curlsmith launched with. And I have been using this gel. Oh my God, guys. I think I've been using this gel for like 5, 6 years, maybe. That's crazy. I'm just gonna take a little bit on my finger and we're gonna put that next to it. And if we meld it around, they're either going to mix well or they're gonna stay separated. Now, what I'm seeing right here for these are not mixing well. So I would not mix these. You see how these are, it's not really going together. The white is just kind of moving around. That means those two do not mix well. Now let's try one of the ones that's my favorite mix, okay, which is the oiling cream, okay? And then we're going to add the souffle on top of that. Now, if we mix those two, these ones are actually starting to meld together more. If you can see, you're not getting as much of that separation, that true separation. You're starting to see them actually almost become one product. That's what you want to ideally see. Now, does that mean that you can't use those other two together? Not necessarily, it's just that they might not mix as well compared. I do think that's a great way for you to immediately see if you're not sure if they're gonna mix well. And sometimes you just kind of have to try it and see what happens. When you're curl cocktailing, okay? We're gonna call it cocktailing. I'm cocktailing with my coffee today at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because I got up really early today and I was like, I need an afternoon pick-me-up. But when you're curl cocktailing, one of the things that you do wanna be really careful about is not overdoing it on your curls, especially if you have finer hair. Always remember that you can add more, but it's much harder to take away. As soon as you get too heavy a product and too much product on there, by the time you dry, you might be really weighed down and your curls are not going to bounce back the way you want them to. I've talked so much that my hair started to dry a little bit, so we're gonna re-wet this a little bit, and I'm gonna add in my souffle all throughout my hair, and then I'm gonna add in a little bit of the in-shower style fixer. I have a bachelorette party I'm going to this weekend, and I know that my hair needs to be holding real good for that. So I'm gonna add a little bit of this on top of the souffle, mainly on my ends, just to make sure those ends are really nice and sealed so that it stays away from any humidity and it just holds for that much longer throughout the week. I'm gonna fast forward this part and we're gonna start adding in those gels. Now, I like to always start with all of my products on the ends of my hair so that we get the most amount of product on the ends and the least amount of product by the root. It's a really important step to make sure that you don't weigh your roots down. Make sure you also don't forget about the back of your head. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So we really like to make sure that we get that area really well coated too. Some people like to add gel after they brush through their hair. I like to add it before and a little bit after. I actually just got this brush, Crave Naturals. I've never heard of them, but they're available on Amazon and they sent me this brush and I'm like, okay, let's try it. I'm kind of picky with my brushes. Oh, well, there's that. Like the handles really, it kind of like just like slips right out of my hand. Not very, okay, yeah. Not very easy to hold on to. Well, that's a no. We're gonna go back to my handy dandy Tangle Teaser brush because that's my favorite brush. And you can already see it's working so much better than the one that I was just using. I told you, I am very picky. I'm very picky with my brushes. Now, as I was just going through that, I could tell that my hair was craving a little extra moisture, potentially than what this multitasking conditioner is gonna give it because it has the protein in it. I wanna add something that is lacking protein. So I'm gonna actually go in with a little bit of my oil and cream. I think I'm gonna stick it mainly on the ends. I'm just gonna use about this much. Bring that through my hands and we're just gonna coat that a little bit. This oil and cream is one of my all-time favorite leave-ins. Now we are going to section and start finger coiling. Again, I'm not gonna go super in depth on my finger coiling process right now. If you wanna know the really nitty-gritty step-by-steps, make sure that you go watch that other video that takes you really through my individual styling routine. And again, that is linked above, but we're gonna fast forward through this and I will walk you through those first few finger coils when I get to them. Now, it is really important to make sure that your hair stays wet during styling. If you notice that it's starting to dry, you use your little handy dandy, what do you call this? Flare-a-sol. Now, when I'm going through this and I'm about to finger coil, what I do is I will take just a tad bit of extra gel into each section. I split my sections into two on the bottom half, and I'm just gonna take that little bit of extra souffle gel and bring that through, and we're gonna start finger coiling. So I will just go through and start curling that, and we're off. Time to get the rest of this done. Okay, now I am done with this side. You wanna make sure that you also kind of give it a good scrunch at the end. You wanna hear that kind of like squishy sound, because if you don't hear the squishy sound, you probably don't have enough water or moisture in your hair. I'm going to work on this other side and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I have both sides finger coiled, we're gonna go in with that little bit of the In Shower Style Fixer and just kind of paint that over the top of what we just did. Rope that over gently and then scrunch it in. One of the things I like to do is I like to take a little hair towel. You will just go in and give it a gentle scrunch and squeeze. That's gonna take that excess moisture without adding extra frizz, and it's gonna help with your dry time once you're diffusing. I'm gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing I just walked you through here on top of my head, and I will be right back. Okay, y'all, the hair is fully styled just as we talked about. It's really important when you're cocktailing to listen to your hair. If your hair is feeling dry or it's feeling over product or over moisturized, listen to that. While I was styling, I was like, oh man, I'm feeling some pullback. I'm feeling some dryness. I'm gonna go in with some extra leave-in today. You see these beautiful little finger coils, and they are truly just, I mean, they are beautifully defined. Beautifully. That should be a telltale sign that we're gonna end up with some really nice results when dried. So we're gonna start drying, and then I will be back with the finished results. Okay, let's go. Okay, and we are back fully dried. I would say we're like probably 98% dry. Curls are looking defined. They're looking fluffy for day 1 curls. You know they're gonna get even bigger as the next couple days go on. So we love that. Day 1 is always gonna be our least voluminous normally, and then as we get into like day 2, day 3, I don't know about you guys, but day 2, day 3 curls are normally my favorite curls. I feel like we all have a favorite day for our curls of the week. Let me know in the comments if you have a favorite day and what that favorite day is. We have some bomb results. Fantastic. This is why we love Curlsmith. If you guys have any questions on them, please let me know below. I'm happy to answer your questions. Also, do not forget, I do have a discount code with Curlsmith, so I'm gonna pop that right up there for you guys in case you haven't taken advantage of that yet. It is a one-time code, so make sure you use it and take advantage of anything that's full price, okay? But until next week, guys, I will see you then. Bye.